This is Kanji in Danzanru Jujutsu. I'm your host, George Arrington. In this second part of the Oku No Te, we'll look at the first three techniques. These three techniques have similarities, and we'll see this in the kanji. This scroll, which was given by Professor Okazaki to his students when they reached the level of second-degree black belt, is called the Mokuroku scroll, or the catalog scroll. It is a catalog of the Danzanru system. This is the section of the scroll that deals with the Oku No Te. In this video, we'll look at these three techniques. This first technique is called Dayashi Hayagatana. This is the image from the scroll, and the printed characters would look something like this. So the first character is de, and it means to exit or to leave. The second character, which we have seen in earlier videos, is called ashi, and that means either foot, leg, or it can also mean a step. This character is pronounced haya, which means early or quick. And I always remember this one by looking at the little sun character. This part right here is the character for sun, which is rising up over the horizon. So it's the early morning. But haya can mean early or quick. And in fact, one way to say hurry up in Japanese is hayaku. And then this last character is called gatana or katana, and that is the word for sword or blade. And some Danzanru practitioners may be looking at this and saying, isn't this pronounced Dayashi Hayanada? Well, that's the way it's traditionally said, but the correct way of saying this is Hayagatana. And for a more detailed explanation of that, check out the explanation in the Shime series that I did previously. So this Dayashi is a sumo term, which means constant forward movement, and it implies the Dayashi Harai, or advanced foot sweep technique from the Nage. Now this part means quick blade, and it implies an armbar technique, which looks something like this, where the opponent is on his back, and the practitioner or the tori is on his back with the uke's arm between his legs and breaking the arm this way. Now in judo, they don't call this hayagatana or hayanada. They call it uri hishigi, which means arm crush. So they have a more descriptive title for that. So in this series of videos, what I want to do is I want to show the actual brush strokes of each of the techniques, and that will help you as in learning these to internalize what these characters look like. So I encourage you to actually practice these characters over and over. For instance, each character, you might take one piece of paper and use a pen and draw that. So let's look at the first technique. This is called de. I'm going to turn on my laser pointer here and show you the brush strokes for this. Okay, so brush stroke number one, this starts from here and goes down like so. 2 is just this and this. So 2 goes over and across. 3 goes like that. 4 and 5 are similar to 2 and 3. 4 goes right here along the bottom of that vertical stroke, and 5 is like this. Now ashi is a box on top of a little support here. I often look at this and this kind of looks like the looks like a foot, where this part here is the arch of the foot, and then this is the person on top of the foot. But anyway, ashi is done this way. You draw this little downstroke, number 1. 2 goes over and down. 3 is across. Now 4 goes straight down. 5 sticks out a little bit like that. 6 comes down like so. And from almost the middle of 6, you draw a slanted line which intersects the bottom of stroke number 4. So on each of these, practice these over and over and over again, and then you'll get better at them. So now let's look at haya. So on this one, it's very similar to the box from ashi, except that there's a line through it, and it looks like this. So we draw the left side of the box. That's a downstroke. Stroke number 2 goes over and down, just like the 2 on the ashi. But on this one, before you close off the bottom of the box, you have a 3, and then finally the 4. Now the next stroke is, you might ask, well, should it be the downstroke or the horizontal stroke? And oftentimes, or sometimes, you would do the vertical stroke. On this one, the horizontal stroke comes first. So it goes 5 and then 6, like so. So it's almost making a 10 character, like so. And then katana is a very simple technique. There's only 2 strokes in this one. It starts here, goes across and down with a little hook at the end, and then 2 goes like this, kind of parallel to the right side of the first stroke. So this is katana. Okay, so let's look at ogoshi hayagatana. And you see the image there in the printed form there. So what does this say? Well, the first character, o, it can also be pronounced tai or oki, but in this context it's o with a long o sound. And that means large or big or major. Koshi or goshi in this context is the word for hip or waist. So o goshi. And then again we have haya and gatana. So now these first 2 characters imply the major hip throw that we see in judo. So it's a hip throw. I mean, you could say literally it's big hip, but it's the whenever you see ogoshi, that means the hip throw. And again, this is the quick blade that we talked about earlier. So let's take a look at the brush strokes. Okay, so O is a very simple one. It's only three strokes. It goes like, turn on my laser pointer here. There we go. And it goes a 1, and then 2, comes down like so, and 3. And I always think of this as a man standing with his arms held out, with his feet wide, meaning big. So that's O. Then koshi or goshi looks like this. This section here, I think I've mentioned this in previous videos, but this section right here can mean moon, or it can mean meat. So whenever you see this in a character, it may be something that has to do with a body part or some other kind of meat there. So this is the radical for koshi, and it goes like this: 1, 2, come down and then make a little hook at the end, and then 3 and 4, like that. Now the rest of the stroke, this part right here means, this part can literally mean west, and this part means woman. But you know, how do you combine meet and west and woman to mean hip? I don't know. But anyway, let's look at the strokes. 1, then you come down here and go, oh, excuse me, I'll put them in the order. 5, then 6, then 7 goes across like so, then 8 and 9 come in, and then you close off the bottom of the box like so. So that's the that's that section. And then here's an interesting case where the vertical parts come before the horizontal parts. For this one, you go down and a little bit of a curved line there. So that's 11. 12 goes this way, and then 13 closes it off like that. So that character is a 12-stroke character, a little more complex, but that's a good one to practice. And then Haya and Gatana, and we looked at those in the previous picture. And then the third technique is Seoi Hayagatana, and here's the image from the scroll. Here would be the printed characters of those. And se, that's S-E, se, means the back, the actual back of a person. Oi means to bear something or to carry something. And again, haya, earlier, quick, and gatana, which is the sword or the blade. So these two characters together imply the shoulder throw, the seoi nage from the nage list. So seoi implies the seoi nage shoulder throw. And again, this is the quick blade that we talked about before. So now let's look at the brush strokes of seoi and see what that looks like. So looking at this character, I want you to get a visual of this character. Now whenever I see this particular character, if you kind of squint your eyes and look at it, what is the picture that you're seeing here? Well, the picture that I see is this. This is the vertebra of the back. And so when you draw that, think about, or when you see this character, think about that picture. Okay, so here are the brush strokes. Turning on my pointer. Now you have a bunch of places here that it actually starts right here. It goes 1, 2, and then this is an upward stroke, 3. 4 is this part, strangely enough, and then 5 comes down with a little kind of a curve up at the end. And then the bottom part is the same meet or moon radical that we saw before. 6 goes this way, 7 goes over here, and then a little hook on the end, then 8 and 9. So that's se. Oi, which means to carry a burden on the back, is done this way. This is stroke 1, it's a downward stroke. 2 goes over like this and ends right there. And then 3, now we're drawing another box, but now we have 2 lines inside the box. So 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So that completes that box. And then 8 is a little leg that goes down here, and 9 goes down like that. So that's oi. And again, we have haya and gatana. Well, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I would encourage you to check out my book on the scrolls and other Danzan documents, Mokoroku and Kaiden Sho. It's available on Amazon, and it has a lot of information about the kanji. And I would also encourage you to check out my other book, one of my other books, Danzanru Essentials. If you're a Danzanru student, this has a lot of very pertinent information about the Danzanru system that may or may not be available elsewhere. So I would encourage you to check these out on Amazon.com. Again, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more of these types of videos.